Welcome to today's Askreddit episode from Asked and Answered. What was the weirdest date you've ever been on? Went to the Church of Scientology, roped in with promises of free food. We were on a date for Christmas. So odd. Edit, they had us take the personality test and tried to break us up. They said we were completely incompatible, to the point of being toxic. We've been together 10 years lol. Whoa. I wonder if that's some kind of weird long con. They know a majority of relationships are going to end in breakups, so they tell every couple that they're incompatible. Then, a few months down the line, the relationship starts to unravel and you think, wow, those Scientology people totally saw this coming. Maybe there is something to those meter things. Dunno. Can't think of why else they try to tell you to break up. Glad you made it out safely, and congrats on 10 years. Another one, I went on a date with this girl from Tinder. She super liked me and messaged first, so I was really happy to have someone interested. I asked if she'd like to go for a walk sometime and she said she'd love to. So we get to walking and like 5 minutes in, she asks if I have roommates. I said yes, I live with 5 people and tell her about a few of them. There's Max, Matt, Mark. Wait, Mark Smith? I know him. What's he been up to? So we start chatting about my roommate and she knows a lot about him. His family, the sports he plays, his girlfriend. Every time I try to move the conversation somewhere else, she brings it back to Mark. She's not even pretending to be into me anymore, she's just fangirling out over my roommate. I just love him, his hair is always so shiny and he smells so nice. She spends the full 2 hours talking about him and asking all sorts of questions. I didn't really know what to do, so I just boredly keep answering. When we get back to our cars, she shifts gears again. Hey, so I had a really great time. Want to go back to your place to have some fun? She's really creeping me out at this point, so I tell her I have homework to do and maybe later. I get back and tell Mark about the date and he knows exactly who she is. He picks up his phone and immediately calls the police. They show up at the house, find the girl outside in the backyard and arrest her for violating a restraining order or something. It turned out she was super unstable and had stalked my roommate since they went on one date almost a year prior. She recognized from photos she had of him and used me to find out where he lived. Is it bad that I'm impressed by her stalking skills? Like, imagine if your stalkers took all that crazy talent and became private eyes, spies, or something not insane. Third date with a guy from Hinge. Started off completely normal, went to a pub for a few drinks. Pub closes. Guy invites me back to his. We get back to his and have a few more drinks. He then asks if I'd like to smoke a joint. Hadn't smoked for a few years but thought hey, it'll be fine. End up feeling very sick and unable to move. Guy doesn't have a bucket or bowl, so brings over the entire kitchen bin and places it next to me. He then suggests we watch a movie. Guy puts on American Psycho and I sit there for the next 2 hours paralyzed and paranoid, completely convinced he's going to murder me. Also, he lived on a boat. Oh, the boat would have freaked me out more. That seems like the worst movie to put on in that context. WTF. I matched with a Chinese exchange student on Tinder. She asked me to meet her at her apartment, then we'd go link up with some of her friends at the waterfront. We're texting as I'm on the way over, and she didn't realize this was a date. Nonetheless, she asks me to pick up dinner for both of us on the way over. I get to her apartment, and before I can even take my jacket off, she says, "So, do you have anything to say to me?" Presumably because I'd spent 15 seconds in silence. I offer her the food she asked for. She said she wasn't hungry. I try to strike up a conversation, but she dead ends every topic I bring up. She starts texting, and making phone calls. She was speaking Mandarin, presumably, but I was able to make it the name of the place we were supposed to meet her friends. She said something about how plans might change because her friend needs help. Throughout all this, I just sat by myself, eating my sandwich in silence. When I was finished, I asked if she just wanted me to leave. She said yes, then gave me $20 for dinner. You weren't her date, you were her Uber Eats driver. You have to wonder why people are on Tinder if they're only looking for friends. I was interested in this girl, and she kind of tricked me into a double date where she was dating another guy and had fixed me up with her sister. Being a good sport, I went along with it and it was awkward but okayish. But then she set me up with her sister again, and this time it was just the two of us. We went to the park. She had filled the trunk of her car with troll dolls, I mean dozens and dozens of them, and spent the entire date introducing me to her trolls one by one. I should mention we were in our 20s, she was getting frustrated and angry because I didn't seem all that interested in her dolls. So sitting there, hands full of troll dolls, she exasperatedly asks me, "So are we going to have sex? Do you even know how to have sex?" Not with you I don't," I said, and got up and walked home. There's only so much one can endure while being polite. I showed you my troll collection, please respond. You gotta pay the troll toll. If you wanna get into that girl's hole. My first dating app date. Starts off pretty good. We barely put in our dinner order and her phone starts blowing up. Her ex was drunk and causing a scene outside her app. Her ex kept calling, then her roommate started, and then the landlord calls threatening to call the police. We get our food to go and I take her back to her app. Long story short, both her and her ex are crying messes. She goes inside, leaves me outside with crying drunk ex who starts telling me all about how he messed their relationship. Dude is way too drunk to drive. I end up driving him to his apt Uber back to my car, realize my date took all the food with her. The joys of dating. You're a good guy for driving him home. But did you get his number? Ha. That's the most intricate scheme to get free food that I've ever heard of.